G'day guys, something a little bit different. I've got this Premium Solar remote controller. It goes with the 20 and the 40 amp Premium MPPT solar controller. Sort of doesn't really state that it's for the 20, but it actually is. So if you've got the 20 and it's that grey unit that you're probably seeing just at the back, or you can see the side sticker, I did make sure it did work. So you might ask, why use this remote controller? As you can see where I've mounted this, it's very hard to see the screen, it's very hard to adjust it. And yes, I could possibly move it down here, but I didn't want to do that. It'll just get whacked all the time and it's still going to be hard to see and all the rest of it. So I have the wing kit. Obviously I've removed that already. And the wing kit normally, I'll just sit it where it was. Explain what's going on. So the wing kit used to sit out like this, sort of like the other side I suppose, like that. Now I needed to shift that back so that I can put the controller in place. It's going to roughly sit somewhere like that there, and then the actual controller, the remote controller I should say. Interesting. I didn't even know that. I could have cut a round hole and inserted it flush on there, but I will use this little box that it comes with that sits it out a bit. So that'll sit like that. So I worked out I needed to go back about 9 centimeters. So what I did was just made a little paper template like this. Just be able to see a bit better there. Just with a bit of cardboard. Marked it all out. So pretty much all I did was this. I got this bit of cardboard. I lined it up with the holes that are there. Get that out of the way. So as you can see, all the holes are lined up perfectly. I got that. I measured from this one. I went back 9 centimeters, and same deal. Lined it all up. Set it in here. Marked it out just with one of these black textures, and now I've drilled it. I'm going to mount that in, see if it fits, and then I'll mount the controller to it. And then we'll connect it all up and see what the display looks like. Alright, so what I've done, I've fitted this unit, and what I was initially going to do was drill a hole in the middle through the back there and run the cable. What I did notice is a little slot here, and I don't mind, it can go around that corner. If for some reason later on I change it, but I already fitted this in once. All the bolts line up beautifully, so I'm going to refit it now because I needed to take it off to really do this properly. So the 3 or the 4 screws that hold this plate on, say top, bottom, and the 2 sides. So I mucked one of the holes up a little bit, but that's alright. Pretty easy fix. And then you've got these little plastic bits that you throw in these holes to, I don't know, seal it up, make it look all pretty. Cover the little screw holes. But I'll fit this in and then we'll run the cables to the controller unit itself and see what pops up on this display. Alright, so I was talking about that barrier screen I've got at the back with the shelf. That's where it bolts on. Yeah, in theory, yes. You'd think you'd be able to just take the headrest off and pop off, but no, it doesn't work. That's because all this stuff fouls it. Alright, so let's lift this seat out of the way and we'll have a little bit more of a look at what's going on and why everything is the way it is. So, controllers here, as you can see. That's just where I mounted it. So the cables actually for the solar unit come there, out through the engine bay, down the seal. I've showed that in previous videos. The DC to DC's here. And that's the plug for the solar for the DC to DC. I just leave that little extension cord on because I'm always plugging and unplugging it when I've got the car away. So, I need to plug in here, under here somewhere. So I'm just going to get my Allen keys and unscrew the panel. And then grab the cable and we'll run it through. The cable's just here anyway. If I can get my fat fingers onto it and pull it through. Maybe, yeah, just so. The cable does need to plug in underneath, and I'll show you that in a sec. Just one other little thing. So that's where I've got my two terminals. So I've split that off the output of this unit. So at the moment it's set up for a 60 amp lithium battery. And you have to adjust that setting if I'm going to put a larger battery in. And that's part of the reason for this controller. If I'm not wanting to bring the large solar panel and I'll plug into this unit, I don't want to have to take the seat off like this. Well, not the seat off, I don't want to undo it all. I want to be able to plug into here, run a cable straight over to the other side there, to the battery, and be able to quickly adjust the settings here. I'm going to unscrew this and then we'll plug in and then we'll go look at the display. Alright, so I've unscrewed this and plugged her in just at the end here. So that's all locked in nicely. Did its little click that it does to go in. Now, looks like I'm going to have to modify this a little bit as well. That's alright. So I'm going to have to cut this bit out, like I have with the rest of this stuff for the cabling. Make a little adjustment there, and be back in a sec with it getting plugged in, I suppose. Or we'll look at the display after that. I won't bore you with me cutting all this stuff and fitting it on. And yeah, we'll see what happens at the other end with the display in a minute. Right, made the little mod, screwed it back into place. I'll plug this in here. There's my battery. Now, what I did here, you can buy one of these double plugs, you can buy them single. I bought a double, obviously, as I said, for another purpose. And eventually what I'll end up doing is running a cable here permanently all the way around to the other battery. but just not have it connected there. And then I can unplug one and plug the other one in, and it doesn't really matter, but it just saves me having to run a cable. I can fix the cable into this and run it around the back. Now it obviously comes with the 2 Anderson plugs, but what I ended up doing, I didn't use the Anderson plugs that it come with. I had this cable, which is a single end one end and a double the other. So pretty much just nice and easy, click it all together. As you can see, that's the Anderson plug from the regulator. One other thing might be interesting to some, the slider here. This is meant to be this fridge slider, but I had a fridge slider when I got the car. This one I actually used to slide the top drawer out, and then I can expand it out quite a ways at the back, and seems to hold pretty well. And part of the reason is this slider's held down as well by the other slider. I had to overlap it to make enough room on that side for the battery. But that's a few little things I've done with the car. Might not have anything really to do with this remote controller. The only other thing I will say, I think the cable's about 2 meters. So you can have your remote controller about 2 meters away. I know some other units have a like a wireless sort of setup, and you know, all well and good. If you got one of those units, with this one, this is the way it is. It is what it is. So okay, I'll just finish plugging this in, pull everything back, put this cage back on and mount it back to the seat, and then I'll get around the other corner and you'll see the display for the first time. Alright, there we go. There's a little protective, I don't know, some people leave them on, some people leave it off. We'll leave it on for now. So I'm pretty sure these controls are pretty similar to the ones that are actually on the unit. There wasn't a little instruction booklet or anything, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty easy to work out, and I'm sure Kings will eventually put a video out on how to use those controls. I'm not going to sit here and waste your time fiddling through it, but as you can see, a nice little smiley battery. We've got, I don't think anything coming through. I think that's saying 19.7 volts, but no ampage going through, probably because the battery's full. And that's the drawer, I believe, that in. So no drawer. 13.7 and 19.7 volts and no amps. So it's not charging currently. Obviously it doesn't charge when it's full capacity. Alright, there you go. I'm quite happy where it's turned out. I was initially thinking I was going to cut this because there's a screw thing here that holds this in place. I don't have the screw. It didn't come when I got the car. It was missing. So there's one on this side that I'll lock in. I thought just for a bit of added protection, just in case something drops down or I could whack it, smash it. Tend to throw a lot of gear in the back of this vehicle. I'll just leave it as it is. Alright, hopefully you get something from it. This is all the back setup, the battery and everything. And because this is a little bit fiddly, this lock on this thing as well, that's why the guide put one of these on the fridge slider, and then as I said, I can pull this out and you obviously pull this out And if you got one of those little camp table things, even though that's probably too high, well, not camp, it's like this, you know, the metal camp tray. It's in there. You'll eventually see it that you hang off the back. I can pull, the whole thing about it is I can pull the fridge out. Once the fridge is out here somewhere, I can pull that out even further to get to, because pretty much in here is almost my pantry in a sense. Some toilet rolls, some wipes and coffee and bits and pieces and knives, forks, plates, all the rest of it. So that way I can get to it. But look, as I said, I'm quite happy with that. It's suits my needs. Can control everything off here, and yeah, I'm wrapped. Alright, till the next time, I will catch you all later.